Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Snapbacks and FlatCaps. This, I was about to say the episode, don't know what the episode number is. This is your host, Rob, of course, joined by Trizzy. Next week, we'll be having a guest.
Yeah.
This week, we want to talk about some things that we were discussing. Look, we put to Instagram polls, and there were two main topics. One of them was towards women, and the other one was towards men. The one towards men was that would they mind if their woman, their missus, their wife earned more money than them? And women, it was that they mind, would they be in a relationship with someone who earns significantly less than them?
Yes.
So do you think the wording was fair on that one?
I think it was, to be honest. I do think it was and everything like that, because obviously it varies at times. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, it was interesting to see the results, though.
Well, the thing is, I think that some women thought that me putting it like that suggested that, that wasn't really fair. But that's only because to get a clear-cut answer, you need to exaggerate it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the difference, because the difference between a man earning 30 and a woman earning 40 is not much difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're saying that a man's earning 17 and she's earning 45, that's a different kind of difference.
That's a huge.
And it's not like people aren't working, but that's just. And you're talking sometimes six figures. And this is the thing: a guy could be earning, say, 50 bags, and a woman can be earning 100k or like 320k. That's even though 50 bags is still a good salary, that is still like mad.
Yeah, because you know what it is. I think it there's a difference between when you can afford the necessities and then you can afford luxuries. Now everybody has a different view on what a necessity is, and we all know what the necessity is, like your clothes, your food, your water, everything like that, the normal things to maintain. But when it comes to like the certain luxuries, if depending on taste, because remember when we had the conversation with Steph, like there was that women wanting expensive items like lubes or something like that, and should a man really do it? And then having that debate, I can see, and then having that debate, wrong, why would I spend that much? But then if you can afford it, really, basically, you might have more of an expensive taste. So, that's where that starts going all funny as well, because I know you could get caught in relationships where, as we said, like, if your woman is giving you like, I don't know, £1,500 gifts on your birthday and stuff like that, and then you're bringing in a couple of roses because that's what you can afford on her birthday, sometimes you can start feeling away as well. Do you know what I mean? So
I think what we got from the men's side of point of view was very much that they don't mind because they see it as a partnership. If you're with someone and they're earning more money, then both of you can elevate in a way, because it just benefits both of you. One guy was saying to me that it doesn't matter at all because money's not the only thing to bring into the table. And I was like, that's an interesting way to look at it. But I said, and then I started talking about the idea of masculinity and what masculinity about providing, protecting, all of that. And he said something similar. And I said to him, well, when it comes to providing, how can you provide with no money? How can you look after a family with no money or like minimal money? Because then it's not just about money from a materialistic point of view. It's about a providing point of view as well. Yeah,
that's the necessities I'm talking about, because if you some men, I mean, all right, cool, we in this whole epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it at the moment, and a lot of couples, one will be made redundant, and there's been some men that have to literally stay at home, look after the kids while the woman is the only one working and stuff, even if they're in the house or out the house. Do you know what I mean? And it can take a strain, because our society's always made this thing of like men protect and provide, women will nurture. Do you know what I'm saying? So, because it's going to be interesting in the next few months, because as you know, England's going through a stage 4 situation, so it's probably going like that. But I know a couple of men that are staying at home looking after the kids while their woman's going to work. So that means their salary's stopped. Do you know what I'm saying? Their salary's dropped, and the woman is now providing for the house. And sometimes it can be a strain, sometimes it's not. I mean, obviously it's a rare situation, but I mean, it depends. I personally think it depends on what you're looking for in a relationship.
Well,
because not every man has this thing.
I got a response from a woman a while ago, and she came back to me. First of all, she said, "Look, it's a bit of a complex one. Let me come back to you." She came back to me, and she said, "She's like, the righteous answer would be that it doesn't matter what they earn, but that's not reality." She goes, "Women are the ones who give birth, take maternity leave, look after the house, and men need to understand that." She's always had a good job which supports her, but I don't earn enough to do that for two people. If I get with someone and they want kids, a nice home, they need to bring something to the table, which obviously includes money, but she might be with someone who's on the path to financial success and they're not there yet. It might take a few years, but she thinks it's an unfair question to ask women. Humanity has engineered women to be inferior, earn less for the work, have periods, have kids, maintain a house, cook and clean. If I was from a millionaire family, maybe I'd be up for fully supporting a man. It's totally circumstantial. Personally, for me, I would need a man who can support himself the way I support myself, and for us to both be able to provide for the future and the family. So what I notice is a lot of it goes back to future and family. And I understand even younger women are still thinking like this, because they're like, okay, it's fine. But I remember I was watching this thing the other day, and this guy asked like hundreds of women, did they want to go back to work after they had a kid or after they'd become pregnant? And like five of them said yeah. But most of the time, I feel like the general thesis is that if a woman's going to be staying at home or a woman's going to be having kids, then it's the man's responsibility to pick up the slack financially of not having two people's full-time income. You might have someone who works part-time in the situation, but she's like, she needs enough security to know that he's going to earn enough to finance if she's going to stay at home. And I feel like that's the general idea, and that's what it always leads back to. I do get that point.
It's a fair point, but what's earning enough? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what is actually earning enough? It's like you'll have people that's going to be turning around and saying, okay, cool, they need to have the house, they need to have this, you know what I'm saying? They got to have a car and everything else. And then the details start getting blurry within it. Like, no, we need a brand new car because the safety of the children and the safety of this, and we need a Jeep because we got the, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, what is earning actually enough? Because as you said, there's people that could be just secure on minimum wage and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And that could be enough because they know their partner's supportive emotionally, which I think that male person had answered and stuff. Like, he's not just bringing money, obviously emotional support and stuff like that. And there's people that have a lot of finances, but they're not emotionally attached. So then the family's never there. Because
I'm glad you said that, because this is a question I really want to ask a woman, to be fair, but I don't think she'll tell me the truth. I feel like when you think about someone like a footballer or a well-established celebrity or rapper, someone who's got six-figure money, yeah? Let's take footballers, because footballers are easier. Footballers earn six figures, yeah? At majority of their career, which means they're able to, if they're with someone, finance isn't going to be an issue, housing isn't going to be an issue. They can provide in every aspect of a woman's life. So if he wants to go and run off and cheat, because he's earning that kind of money, do you think the woman who he's with will look the other way? Because I feel like some women say no, but I feel like I'm calling bullshit on that.
Well, do you know, bro, listen, I've seen it a lot of times. Like, I'm not just going to generalize. I'm going to see on the situations I've seen and encountered. Once there's a price tag with it, there's certain things that people will put up with. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll go from here to down here if you leave that structure. Now, it's all good saying like, oh, yeah, if he ever did that to me. Like, we'll take footballers, for example. They're on the road all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I watched something with Patrick Evra the other day, and he was a Patrice.
Oh, you watched that Nicholas Anelka one?
No, I didn't. No, I did.
Yeah, but go on.
And as you say, and I know it relates back to our previous podcast when we were talking about could David Beckham get away with cheating and stuff like that. Like, even he, England's golden boy, was forgiven for it because of what he brings, if you get what I'm saying. But then if he was somebody that just wasn't bringing those kind of stuff to the table, people would be yelling and saying, like, oh, forget him, like he's a dirty, do you know what I'm saying? So I think...
So in that, okay, well, so then you're essentially saying that women can be bought. Really?
I'm not saying
they're loyalty.
I just think certain women, you know what I don't like to hear? You know what I don't like to hear? It's a thing that, like, because I think every woman is their own individual. It's when they fall into these stereotypical categories. Men do it as well. Do you know what I'm saying? As we was talking about masculinity, like, no, I need to be the breadwinner. And sometimes that's just some caveman mentality. Do you know what I'm saying? You could literally have your woman that is earning more, but you're still doing your thing. You still can support. You get where I'm coming from? It's an inferior complex or something. So when women are talking about this, I can't stand when women just expect that that's what men do. They just cheat. Do you get what I'm saying? So if it does happen, as long as he's bringing the bread and stuff,
I feel like that's an old school mentality.
Keeping it, maybe we can work on. Huh?
I feel like that's an old school mentality. You know, the old men just
cheat. Yeah, it's an old school mentality. But as we just said, I've never seen a footballer's wife just leave her husband after he's been cheating for how many years?
Oh my days! You know what happened to Carl Walker? You know Carl Walker?
No, yeah.
Okay, just to give some context, Carl Walker was a footballer from the UK. And what it is he, his girlfriend or his fiancée, she cheated, and he was devastated.
Yeah.
And he said that, you know, he doesn't know how they're going to come back from that. But 2-2s now, man has been known for cheating. During lockdown, he organised bare escorts to come to his yard. He had a baby with someone else whilst he was with her. Yeah, he's heartbroken. So obviously the girl's loving this.
Yeah.
But
this is what I'm saying. But everybody was still willing to party with him. Like, there's no point. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna pull up with the bullshit, just stay quiet. Do you know what I'm saying? Just stay quiet. Yeah. It's only people start getting upset when the information's out.
Mm-hmm.
So is it really something that you could tolerate and you went past, or is it because now you've got outside factors why you're upset? Now you have to take action. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, I think the finances play a big role in relationships. People like to pretend like it don't, but I think it does. You know what I mean?
But I think it's it goes into more of a kind of, I don't know, kind of equality. It's about security, innit? Women are attracted to security. That gives them peace of mind in a way, you know? Sometimes women
are just attracted to some shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Because think about it. How many women do you know that have got it all laid out? They've got it all laid out. They got the security. They got the thing. And they'll still say my relationship's boring and still slip out and do something. It's not like back in the day where people are just staying their house at home and behaving. Do you get what I'm saying? Like everybody is catching up to each other where they're giving each other equal respect. I believe in doing the equality thing. But I just know it's a 50-50 thing, but there's some things men do, and then there's certain things that women do. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what makes the balance. Because certain things men just can't do that women can do, and certain things that women just can't do that men can do.
You know,
but you still get the 50-50 balance when you're in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it depends. It depends on how people.
You know what made me think actually is that this is what made me think actually. Obviously, someone messaged me talking about an answer to the question about men earning more, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
I was really offended by it and was suggesting, I'll try and find the message. And she was essentially saying that, oh, this isn't 1950 or 1920. Like, why are men being insecure? And she said that she earns more money, and it's kind of one of the reasons she's single. And I don't really know this person, but I said that I don't think, honestly, like with two guys here, would you, if you saw a woman who was single and she earns good money, would you say that is one of the reasons why she's single? Sorry.
No.
Why?
No. I mean, but no, you know what? You could say it could be one of the reasons, but it's not the reason.
Why isn't it?
Because at the end of the day, it's not the reason. Because like, regardless of the money,
because ironically, it's the reason for men, though, couldn't it?
Yeah, but that's for the small. That's for the weakness. If she feels every time her money is the problem why somebody is leaving her, that sounds to me like she's giving herself a kind of like a type of an excuse to, like, you know, like if you just label something as like, oh, it didn't work out because I know he was not scared or something like you know, he didn't. I was too much of a woman for him. Do you know what I'm saying? That kind of stupidness. And really and truly, probably the person just didn't like you.
Well, look, all I'm saying is
I have bad habits that somebody didn't like or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what I've understood
like that all the time. Like men always saying, I can never find a decent girl because I've got so much money and all these girls want to do is hang around me because I got money. But yet, all you're doing is throwing money at women. You're not even showing your personality or nothing like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're just giving yourself an excuse for why things ain't working out.
Well, for me, it's quite interesting because what I've noticed is that this is obviously a generalization. I'm not saying every woman or whatever. I'm just generalizing. Is that you might have a woman and she's like, and she says, oh, you know, I'm successful. I'm university, college educated, got a good job. I've got my own flat, whatever. And I can't find someone, right? Because those qualities which I've just described, that's not what men are looking for. Men don't really care about it. And I think we touched on this before. Like, you don't go out looking for a woman saying, okay, I want a woman who's got, who's been to uni. I want a woman who has got a good job, who's earning good money. I want a woman who's like top CEO, whatever. Like, all of that doesn't matter. That's not what you go to look for in a woman. And I'm not trying to be shallow here. One of the first things you're going to look for, what's she look like? Numero uno, innit? Numero uno. What does she look like? What's she like as a person? Will she be a good mother? Is she interactive? But I think what happens is you have certain women who, you know, let's say there's a grading system, right? Like 1 out of 10. So let's say 10's top, 1's low, yeah? So let's say, for example, a particular woman might rate herself 9 out of 10 because to her, she's like, I've got all of these, I've got my career, I've got my own money, I've got my flat, I've got my own car and all that. So she's saying, I've got good dress sense and I look good. All of that puts me 9 out of 10. So I'm not going to go lower than a 9 out of 10. But a man might interpret a woman, the same woman, but put her down as a 5 because he's not, those things that she has isn't contributing to the attractiveness. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not attractive. Yeah. They're great things to have. I'm not taking anything away from them. But if we're the consumer, as a consumer, that's not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not for us. Like, we don't care.
Yeah. No. I get it. But at the same token, I say maybe it changes the older we get. So, like, if you start off as like women in high school, it's just pure physical. Nobody ain't got nothing to offer nobody. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you start going into college and stuff like that. People start opening their mind. They start seeing the world and stuff. Then you start picking in certain types that you actually like.
Yeah, but that being said, when you're saying about picking types, when you're talking about picking types, are you considering someone's career?
No, you still wouldn't do it at the time.
Right.
Not in college. When you start going into, like, say, the real world, you have to start paying bills. You're looking after your own house. Then it starts getting a bit technical. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let me put it like this then. Okay, let's say, for example, we have someone that we have woman A, and woman A has all of those things. She has a good job, good money, her own car. She hasn't got any kids, and she got a good career, right? And she's like, looks wise, she's like, I don't know, let's say a 5 out of 10. That's woman A. And then you've got woman B, who's just got a normal job. She still makes money. Normal job, makes her money. But she's a kind person. Personality is good. And she's a 9 out of 10. Which one are you picking?
Bro, most men will go for the...
No, bro. What are you picking, bro? Not most. What are you picking?
I know what I got. I know what I got. Like, I know what I got. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I've had to go through the system, if you get what I'm saying. And that's what I'm telling you. We start off with the physical first, then you can get the 10s. You can get the 10s, yeah? You can get a bullshit 10 as well. But then you can also get a bullshit 2. You can get a bullshit too. Do you know what I'm saying? But then somebody might actually prefer to go with on a lower level because the comments and the controls there. So it depends on the individual man itself, what he's looking to do. Because as I said, you can get a man with fat pockets that is like, you just shut up and look good. I don't need nothing else. But then you can have somebody that's an intellect that needs conversations.
But this is what I'm saying.
And might want somebody in the same field, fam. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like the personality or the combo. What I'm talking about is the material things. Like my thing is that, say woman A or whoever she was, she has all of these material things, but when you go to look for someone, do you really care about her material things as much as you do my personality, what she looks like?
Okay, well, apart from that, bruv, listen, my thing is it has to be on an equal playing field. I'm done with doing all of this, you know, having to be the full provider. Because you know what the maddest thing is? And I know everyone's going to shoot me down for this, bruv, you still get the bullshit either way. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll still get the headaches. You'll still have the same arguments. You still have the same thing. So you might as well go and get something that is equal to you somehow. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying that because I like designer things, she has to be wanting designer things. But like, if we're gonna be certain purchases that I would do, we'd have to have something kind of in common. You know what I'm saying? It separates sometimes when, you know, like, oh, I just like my things like sports or something. She don't have to like sports. But on the same token, on materialism, like, I just feel like it's easier, and I feel like women that have their own, I'm attracted to the confidence. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if they are a stay-at-home person or something, that's fine as well. Do you get me? That's fine as well. But for me, I just like the confidence of a woman that she knows she's got her own. She's just here for me, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Not what I can give her and all of this stuff, because I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's my journey with it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like somebody that has it. I mean, what's your thing? Like, because you know what I think happens with, I think maybe women, and this is why we definitely have to get a woman to say her part on this. I think because a majority of people, say from probably our generation, they're probably in single parent homes. So they've seen their mum slave away, doing certain things. So if you're a female and you see that, you say to yourself, listen, I'm about to get my own. I'm not going to have the struggles and stuff, because I'm going to be able to do everything. But then they're not going to carry a man that's not bringing nothing to the table.
I agree with that. But my argument for this is that those things that I spoke about, the material things that a woman has, she may suggest that these are the reasons she's single, or she's not getting someone she wants, because she has her own and men are intimidated by that. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's because men don't care about that in the same way you think you do. Because if you flip it around and a man has his own money, he has a flat, he does this, he does that, that's good, because the kind of focus it takes to get there are more masculine driven focus goals, right? So you're not the idea of masculinity and femininity is opposite of masculinity, no? So you want someone who's not really on the same thing as you. You want someone to be your yin to your yang kind of behavior. So that's why I talk about like femininity, beauty, personality, soft-natured. I'm not saying a pusher, I'm saying but soft-natured kind of, essentially, you know, if you're going long-term with this person, you're thinking about, is this person going to be a good mother to my kids? You know, is she going to be a good support network for me? So those are the things that a guy will look for as a consumer. But the problem is,
you know what? As you say that though, within my family, there's bro. Listen, I think the majority of the women in my family are very strong. They're very strong, and it takes a special kind of like man to understand that you're not just going to come in here and start dictating. That's never going to happen. So that masculine trait of like them being softer and stuff, no, the respect thing has to be there first. So there won't be it could, bro. I mean, like what the lady was saying to you, maybe that can be intimidating for certain men because they're used to being the dominant role.
I think there's
if you've got somebody that they can't control.
I'm not going to take anything away from someone, and I'm not saying it's going to be a sense of control. What I mean is that me as a man and you as a woman, and you're telling me this is the reason why you're single because of that, I think that's bullshit. Because to be honest with you, there's no way in hell, if you're a 10 out of 10 and you haven't got any other issues, or let's say if you're like a 6, you don't have to be like a 10 out of 10, but my argument is that you having money or not having money doesn't go into the equation of what he finds attractive to you. Do you know what I mean? It's not really, it's not the be all and end all. Like, it's different. I understand the other way around. The other way around, women are going to be like, okay, look, my man hasn't got a job, or my man is just earning like a million money. So, you know, it's not long term, it's not good. I understand that more, but initially what attracts men is the personality and the looks. And I'm not trying to be super, super shallow, but I'm just saying the reason a woman is single and she's saying it's because she earns too much money and it's intimidating for men, I don't buy that. I'm not buying that. No, I just don't.
Do you think that's well, like I said, I think that's one of those labels.
Because the thing is,
not finding something,
as long as you don't
they'll use that as a
Yeah, I agree. As long as you don't flaunt it and rub it in someone's face, then it's not going to make a huge difference. And that's what the poll, going back to the poll, that's what the poll essentially said. The poll said, one guy came up with something good actually. He said to me, if she's a lawyer and he's a journalist and you're both doing your thing, but she just earns more money, then that's cool. Because you're still, as a man, you're still in your career, you're happy with your career, you're still making good money to you, and she's still doing a thing. It's just different fields, and it happens. She's going to make more money. It's just whatever. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But I think...
You know, I said that there was a film, what was it called? I think it was a Tyler Perry film. It had Janet Jackson in it. And I think she, what was it? It's not The Best Man's Wedding. It was some, I can't remember what it was, but basically it's a group of friends. Like, they're all in couples, they're all going out with each other. But then I think Janet Jackson and her husband, they lose a child, yeah? And even though they were the strongest couple out of the 3 series of the films that they were there. But when it came to the last one, they were going through the divorce. And as they were going through the divorce, things were getting nasty, things were getting said. A lot of things were, okay, yeah. So, so, you know, things were getting nasty and things were said, and a lot of things were getting unearthed. And her whole thing was, when she made this book, he wanted to say, look, everything's half of ours, this or that. Her whole concept was, on my days, like, because I'm making more than you, that's why you're getting intimidated, you're getting things and stuff. And he was just like, you're not getting it. And then it got down to the real core that what he didn't like was her acting too perfect when they had lost the kid. And she didn't break down emotionally, and they never communicated. But with her story was, he's just upset because I'm driving the big thing. I've got the house. I'm paying for most of the stuff. And it was nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It was another personal reason. So it goes back to what we were saying about, it is a defense mechanism if you've been through a series of relationships and they don't work out. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you've got nothing else to label it with. If you say to yourself, well, I know I'm attractive because I'm getting relationships. I can have conversations. Do you know what I'm saying? I have my own, like, what is it? Now, it must be the money because a man would want this. But you can't just say that. You can't say it. If your track record is saying something different, there's got to be something different. It's hard, though. It is hard because not everybody finds that partnership. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think what it is as well, from what I've found from just the general population, was that they didn't, even though some women might think, oh, I'm not getting a relationship because I earn too much money, it's not a problem, this is why I'm single. But men are out here saying, no, I don't care. Like, she's earning more money. That's good. That elevates us both. I want her to do well. I want to support her. I'm that person. So I feel like something's getting lost in translation here, because some women are saying one thing and thinking that, oh, this is why it's the finance thing. But guys are like, nah, bro, it's not the finance. But they're not relaying that message to them, saying, nah, it's not going to be the finance. It must be something else.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, I don't. To be honest,
I've got a couple of boys that it is a problem if the woman earns more than him, because but they're controlling people.
Well, there you go. But
like, I'll just say straight up about, they're controlling people. So anybody that looks like they can't, when I say, but they don't know that. This is the thing. So this is where I can play devil's advocate with both sexes now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you keep on, as a man, if you are like, oh yeah, she's giving me this problem, that problem, and there's really no problem. It's just the fact that you can't tell her to do something when you want to do, because normally you're used to feeding someone, and like somebody becomes dependent on them. They can't get that woman to be dependent on them, so it's a problem because they're independent of them. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the devil's advocate of that now is maybe you keep picking up guys that want to be having you depend on them, and they don't have to.
What they call male groupies.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is what I mean.
That
sounds unhealthy. That sounds very toxic. But it does happen. So this is the thing. I think the main thing is you could be earning 10K a year, and she could be earning 100K a year. But I think the important thing is just to make sure that just because you're earning less, to not disregard their opinion when it comes to decision making. It's not a kind of attitude of I earn more money, so I make the decisions. Now that's male or female.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like that with your partner, it shouldn't really matter. Obviously, there's limitations on certain things, but you still have to. I think some men can feel a type of way. So I feel like if you're not aware of that, you must know your partner. You know what makes them tick and what doesn't. So if you know him feeling like a man is him paying for this or doing this or organizing that, then just let him do it. What's the big deal?
Well, okay, but what if you can't do it when it matters?
Okay.
So it becomes it's one of those things now, because a man will leave if he feels like he's not giving no value to the situation.
Yeah.
So they could that's another way of looking at it. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, if I don't know, babe, don't want to go out. No, I can't go out because I have to do this. And no, don't worry, I got you. Okay, cool. But I got this keeps going on. And he is struggling to keep up with that.
I think
I don't even know what I'm doing.
I think what it is as well, another point which came from the poll was that women, I think women don't mind if that person is looking to elevate. If you're looking to stay at your 10 grand a year forever, then that's a problem. But if you're always looking for more, you're looking to be promoted, you're looking to start your own business, you're looking to elevate, then that's fine and they don't mind supporting you. But it's if you haven't got any ambition and you're happy saying, okay, well, I'm on 10 grand a year, she's on 100, it's mine. That's, I think, what makes it worse. Because they will sidestep this. If you're in an industry which isn't financially beneficial straight, like it's a slow burner, essentially, and she's in a more corporate career, and that's just straight, next level, you get this money, next level, you get money, and it's more regimented, then she might understand it a bit more.
But then it goes back to what I was saying with the age thing. We start off at these ages. We start off at like high school. Everyone's on the physical. College, uni, or jobs and everything. All of that. Let's get better. Happens. But then at a certain age, none of that matters, bro. People just want to be loved. Do you think that's because, like, on the men's side of thing, as you said, men really don't. I kind of agree with you. I don't think men really look at the whole thing of like, okay, like she has to have this or she has to have that. Like that's not really a primary thing for us. You know what I'm saying? But when also with women get to a certain age, I've noticed that them kind of things.
No, I think what happened.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe the person you're talking to, maybe the person you've been talking to that had the conversation, are they getting to that age where they just want to be loved? It doesn't really matter. Because it probably did matter at one stage.
I don't think people should change their standards, but I think people should adjust their requirements. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking for a man who doesn't have any kids and you're 35, and I mean, there's a high possibility that at 35 years old, some men may have kids already. Like I knew someone and she, I don't know how to describe it. She was like 38, I think. And she said that she wants a person who hasn't been married and who hasn't got kids and who has a good job. Already there's too many problems there. Because
of course. That's a very,
I mean, I know that the thing is there's people who haven't had kids at that stage or they haven't been married at that stage. I'm not saying they don't exist, but what I'm saying is that usually enough they're single. And the reason they're single is because they don't want those things and they're happy being an independent person. So if you want to meet them now, they're not going to want the things that you want. They're not going to line up. So you have to be realistic. And I think some of the problems is as you get older, I do believe some women are more realistic. And it is, a lot of it is just maturity. And men are as well, I think. Men are as well. Like, I still have, this doesn't really apply to me now, but when I was single, I still had I only really had one really strong requirement, and that's that I didn't want to be involved with a woman who has kids. And that's only because I don't have kids. And I thought that was fair. But I got some real backlash from that. Some real backlash, like crazy backlash. But I'm like, to me, I mean, this goes on to a different topic.
But how old was you when you said that, though?
How old was I? But I would still, I mean, if I was single now, I'd probably say the same thing, if I'm honest with you. I wouldn't want anyone. But the only reason, okay, look, to be honest, there's reasons why I say that, innit? But I mean, to simplify it, if I haven't got kids,
but it's not. But I don't think you can get penalised for what you would prefer. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's like the woman that's like, I don't know, 38, 39. If she's saying like she would rather get with somebody who hasn't been married or who hasn't got children, it's not impossible. But then you have to face reality of like, it's you're gonna be you might be wasting years on that, trying to chase a dragon, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? When you could be missing some real lovely opportunities. And same thing with men. If men turn around and say like, listen, I don't really want a woman with a child, you can't really get upset with that person. You don't have to be with that person.
We did, bro. Like, but to me, like, the reason,
if somebody comes to you and says like, I don't, because I was like that at one stage, and the funny thing was, I was like that after I had mine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because I said to myself like, nah, you know what? My situation's fresh. You're in those kind of emotions where you're up and down in the seesaws kind of thing. So little things, you'll be agitated with it. And obviously you'll separate from this person now. So the last thing, the first thing that was going through my mind is, oh God, okay, why would I want to get with somebody else that's probably going through something? Very ignorant of me at the time. But I had those thoughts. I had those thoughts until I experienced somebody with that. And that was one of the blissest situations I've had.
But my thing with that is, for me, you're someone who has a child, and I don't have a child at the moment. And my thing is that if I'm single and I get involved with someone in a child, it goes back to actually what we said earlier in the conversation, that now you're involved in that child's life. So you're going to be involved in that child's life emotionally and financially, you know? Yeah. And obviously that child has a father who's involved or who's not involved. So that's another person. So already things just get a little bit more complicated with that than they need to be, in my opinion. Yeah. So if you can just cut that out and just be with someone who hasn't got a kid, it'll be easier. Both people, like we said earlier, will be on the same playing field of requirements. And I think for me, I know this is going to sound a type of way, but I think for me personally, I just don't feel comfortable raising someone else's kid. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel comfortable with that at all. I just don't like. I just think that's techie for me. But
is that because?
And I can't not be involved. The person I am.
No. But is that more of a thing because that child isn't biologically attached to you, or is that because you just don't want to buck up in the problems of the baby father?
Both. Yeah. I mean, it's different. This is the thing. You say that, but I suppose
no, because in relationships, some people do. If they have.
And also one other thing on that as well is that you need to remember that when it comes to the family dynamics, it's going to go mum, the kid, and then you. Do you know what I mean? And if you're getting in a relationship with someone, I don't already want to be at the bottom as soon as I come into that relationship. I'm already, you know what I mean, like at a disadvantage. So when it comes to it, it's going to be, you know what I mean, it's too techie for me, man. I'd rather just allow it. Now, if I've got kids of my own, that's a completely different situation.
I get it. You see, but I think, no, but do you know what it is? It's like, because I know people will get upset with that, but realistically, when it comes to certain things, even though some people, because sometimes you get people in households where they have different kids, they're kids with different parents or something like that, and they're in their household together. And it does build a tension sometimes if one person is feeling that they're giving favoritism to another, or the siblings can even start thinking, oh, your dad's here, and every time I do something, it's like your dad wants to shout at me or something, but you get away. Do you know what I'm saying? So it can bubble with it. People like to try and say that's not what you feel, because everybody wants to be saying nice things, but nice things don't always happen.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I mean, I get it. I mean, what people want, I don't think people should get thrown under the bus for. But then there has to be a sense of reality with this. As time goes on,
and to
you know what I mean? Like that window just keeps on getting closer and closer.
Well, that's it. To me, it's a simpler requirement because it's I'm asking something which I can demonstrate myself, and I've always believed that no matter what it is. So I'm saying that I'm not going to say, I'm not like, for example, I'm not going to say I want a woman who's, you know, I don't know, like got a big back off or whatever if she's asking for a guy who's 6'4", because I'm not 6'4". Do you know what I mean? So it just doesn't tally up.
Yeah, but that's why I said people shouldn't get upset. It's like, if you say you don't want to get with a woman with any child, yeah, cool, they're gonna have their opinions, but then their thing would be, I don't want to get with somebody who don't want children. It's the same thing.
There we go. So there we are.
No, but this is
go say that. You said somebody who doesn't want. I never said the thing as well.
Yeah, you know, she's everything, but she's not getting along.
Well, this is the thing is, I never said I don't want children. I just said that I don't want to be involved with someone who already has a child. There's two very different things.
No, that's what I meant. Get with somebody with a child. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that no, because that's another extreme. That's another extreme. That one there is very difficult when you've got somebody that's saying they don't want children, and then you got somebody that does want children. Sometimes when you're playing in that ball game, just don't waste people's time.
Yeah,
just don't waste people's time.
Yeah, because I mean, I know people, and this is another thing, time, especially at this kind of age bracket. I know someone, and he was with a woman for 8 years or something, a long time. So let's say mid 20s to like early 30s, he's with this woman. They bought a house together, all that kind of stuff. And now they broke up. They obviously sold the house and split the money. And now she's starting over. And they didn't have kids. And so now they're both 35 odd. He's gone to start a new relationship. And the only thing she's got out of that relationship really is the money from the house.
Yeah.
So she's now 35, 36, how old she is. And she's like, yo, like, pretty much the next guy she meets. Now, look, even if you look at it, if you want to, and she wants to be married and have a kid or whatever. Right?
I know two people have done that. They've been with each other for ages.
Yeah.
And then, she was adamant she did not want it, and then boom, the next relationship, it just happened. And I was always interested to know how
I
felt about that.
How quickly did it happen?
To be fair with you, I mean, I can't really put a time period on it. All I know is that this person didn't want kids. I think the person
female
on the other side wanted. No, the female didn't want kids.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the female didn't want kids. I think he might have wanted it, or he wasn't really against it. But obviously, you know, they're in love and stuff like that. It's a bit like a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's being a house person or something like that. They're letting their career put it on pause to nurture the family and stuff, and then all of a sudden a divorce comes and they got to start from the beginning again. So it's something like that. Like, but she got into a situation and then had a child, and I thought to myself, like, bro, I would be mad if I wanted a child and we spent all that time together, and then you go and get the next. I could actually be pissed off with that still, because it happens the other way around. It's not always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I can understand that. And my thing is, you spent all this time with this guy. You've obviously you've got a house together. That's good. You know, if you don't want to get married, that's fine as well. But as a woman, I mean, I'm not speaking for all women everywhere, but I just imagine if I was a woman in that situation and I've spent 8 years with this guy, I know he's a decent guy, blah blah blah. He'd be a good father, etc., etc., etc. I'd want to think about having a kid. Because then if it does break down, at least I still have my kids. At least I have something. I don't then have to start fresh. Because starting fresh, let's say you're starting fresh at 35. You meet, it's going to take you a little while to get over whoever you're with. Let's say 6 months. Then after that, you're going to want to start dating. Then you have to wean out all the useless people. That's another 6 months. Then you get in a relationship with someone, let's say after a year. You're 36 now, 37. You want to be in a relationship with this person for at least a year before you have a baby with them, let's say. That's another year. Then you're pregnant for 6 months. That's another year. And maybe you want another one. Do you know what I mean? It all, like, time-wise, it all adds up, especially since the time frame, biologically speaking, to have children is shorter for women than for men. That's why it's easy. Men can just go start off another one and start another family if they want.
Yeah.
It's peak. But then again, I mean, I don't know everyone's individual situation.
But this is why I
situation,
think
it should have been one of those shit or get off the pot kind of
no.
vibe.
Listen, like I think the core of it all. Yeah, exactly. And this is what I said. Like, when my nan said it to me when I was younger and stuff like that. It's just don't waste each other's time. And I was going through something, and I thought to myself like, yeah, this, and I was just like, listen, ain't got time to be wasting out here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the longer you start messing around in things, you know, you really not working out for you. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you should be just going to do wild stuff, but the longer that carries on, do you know what I'm saying? Just putting the clock against yourself. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean, I've said it before. I've said it on this podcast. I've said it on lots of things. It's this that it's peak out here because there's no good men. People, no good men, no good women.
Bro, listen, social, like just the way everything, the system.
Oh, I've lost you there for a second. Come on, man. So I lost you there. Say it again, man. Oh, you're freezing. You're frozen.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, now I can. You're frozen, no?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, am I frozen? Yeah,
no, you're good.
You're
good.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. You say.
Yeah, so I was saying, I was saying like people that are normally humble and stuff, like they get a few likes, a few compliments, all of a sudden they think they're the shit. Then you got people that ain't like worth the time at all, but because they look aesthetically good, they're having a world of people, and all of this over consuming of partners. And I stand by this all day. People will normally come out of, this is what social media and everything's done now, yeah? Especially with the dating apps and all of that. If you don't really respect what you're actually doing, you can get lost in the sauce. Meaning like you'll have an overconsumption of different partners, different flings, dates, whatever. To a point where you might even lose yourself in it. So there's key qualities that you started off with, and you know yourself as an individual. Yeah, this is what I'd like. This is what I know I'll be settled for. You just go and scatter with it. By the time you know it, you've wasted a shitload of time. You've missed some important ones because you just got caught in the game. And then, I don't know, you're at a certain age. I won't say a certain age in case somebody's listening and they say like, hey, I'm not old. But it's true. So I think people need to just pump the brakes on all of this frivolous dating stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just take time.
I think a lot of the problem is people don't really know themselves. I think they should just take the time to know themselves. But in that time, you can still date and the rest of it, but just understand yourself before you really get hardcore involved with someone, because it just gets techie. It gets hella techie, man.
But it's difficult when it comes to the socializing thing, I think. So, as we were saying, at the beginning of it, people will actually say, because I make too much money, that's why I'm single. That could be, I don't know, some meme or some generalization because social media says it, and then there's a group of people that say, yeah, you know, I have the same problem, and nobody has the same problem.
Let me take you on this topic. Actually, it's good to get a woman's view on this, so we'll do it in the next one as well. But I put up a poll on Instagram a while ago about so how can I phrase this? So basically, this was essentially to single mums. I remember I sent it to you. So I think it was, if you're a single mum and you have a son, I'm going somewhere with this. So if you're a single mum and you have a son, would you happy giving his father sole custody between the ages of 11 and 20, so his teenage years? So just to be clear, the mum would still see the son, but at weekends or whenever. But three-quarters of the time will be spent with the father, live with the father and everything else during those key points in his life. Now, I asked one or two people, and it was interesting because what kind of annoyed me about it was that what annoyed me about it personally was that the first thing that a lot of people came to was the fact that how they would feel about it and what they thought of the father, which annoyed me because I thought surely the kid's interest should be at best. And at those kind of key points in his life, he needs to be around a male figure. Yeah. And if you thought he was a decent enough male figure to have a child with him, then it shouldn't be an issue you leaving him, your child with him. But I don't know. I think this is a poll which needs to be put on your Instagram so you can see, because I think the demographic is different.
Definitely gonna get.
What do you think of that? Do you think? I mean, because you probably know more. Do you know any single mums with sons? I think you know some with.
Me, listen. If you know, do you know what it is? I think it's when you're. It depends on the type of relationship and what kind of response you'll get. So, like the two kind of parents that are, two individuals that are co-parenting, you might get somebody with a vendetta. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if you get somebody that's moved on too fast or that thing, and they're like, hold on, I ain't even got my stuff together. And you know what I'm saying? You could get some conflict like that. So any silly little thing, it's not even about the child no more. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a stupid.
Oh, we're gone. What's up, sir? Yo. He's frozen. We're going to keep it running. Let's give him a minute anyway. We're not going to cut it off yet. We're just going to give him a... Oh. Shit. We're just going to give him a minute to talk. He's completely frozen. I know I've sapped him. Like fully frozen. Maybe I should kick him out. I'm going to kick him out and put him back in. Let me, I'm going to add. Cool. Yeah, so you were saying about a vendetta. Yeah. About it might be a vendetta.
Yeah, you can get people that have still got like fresh wounds and they just got a vendetta. So it's nothing to do with the child. You know what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with the child. So it really depends on the individual itself. I mean, the correct answer could be yes. You know, the child, if it's a boy, he should go with his dad and see him. But then you never know what type of father it is. There's so many factors in it. Because I know I could ask one woman and one woman would be like, it's never there anyway. So no. You know what I'm saying? Then another one.
Let me put a little bit of disclaimer. If he's a functioning, competent parent.
If it is, I would like to see the polls on it. Because as I said, if there's no vendetta there, and I'm not saying that the woman would have the vendetta against him or something like that, but they would have to give a proper, legitimate reason. It would be good to see, like a poll, and then the reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Without getting people's too personal business or nothing like that. But sometimes I think some of the excuses when it comes to co-parenting, give her out the window. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the almighty glory. I've done some silly things.
I think you need to fling that up on yours for sure, man.
I'll definitely be posting.
I feel like the demographic, like I said, is more towards your audience. And I don't want to offend anyone by sending it to people and I don't know their things.
No. But it's true, bro, because at the end of the day, some people feel what they're doing is already in the best interest of the child. You could get two different styles of parenting. Do you get what I'm saying? As you said, it's like you get...
The reason why I brought it up is that those ages in particular are key, are very key for young males. And they need like positive or negative, hopefully positive influence, but it's so key. It'd just be a different kind of experience. And that's not to say you alienate the mum entirely, but at that kind of age, especially let's say 15, a 15-year-old male, what is your mum really teaching you? That you're you know what I mean? Like, what is a mum really teaching you at 15? Which you should really do your dad, you know?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. But it would depend. I'm going to put up the poll. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting because I know by the time we revisit this, we have to do this for the next poll.
Well, what we're doing is put up the poll, and then on the next one where we have a guest, which will be Walter Semper, we'll start with that, and then we'll go into the other topics.
We'll lead straight into it. Yeah, because I think from the women's point of view and perspective, it'll be good. Because you can say it the other way.
I mean, to be honest with you as well, I feel like the woman's point of view is like, okay, it depends on the guy. I wouldn't think like that. I would think, okay, what's best for my child? If this guy is a competent enough parent where he's not going to put him in any danger and make sure he eats, essentially, then it should be fine, no?
But this is the point I was making. if they don't get along, then that's never going to be said. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if he is, it's never going to be said like that. It's going to be like, no, because of this, and it's personal instead of doing what's best for the child.
I think I don't.
You could get, you know what the funny thing is, bro. You could get like the child. You could get the boy growing up a bit too much, and then the woman could be like, bro, you're gonna live with your dad. You just want to play big man, you can go and live with your dad now.
Yeah. And we talk about some people would ship people back home if they start misbehaving.
Yeah.
So you can go back home, bro.
Is that, you want to carry on playing that? You're going back.
I think, to be honest with you, I honestly think that it would do nothing but improve and develop them.
No, honestly, you're not, because as you said, there's certain things that's going to be, there's certain things that is going to be, as you grow up and stuff. I mean, like, I've got my little girl and stuff like that. I know her mom's going to be showing her when she gets of a young lady's age and stuff like that. And
of course. So, okay, great. That's a great point now. Okay, so let's flip it. Let's say, just what you said there, you have a young daughter. So imagine now let's say she's about 13, and that's the teenage years. Would you be happy for her to stay? You would still see her, but would you be happy for her to live with her mum 3/4 of the time?
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, she's it's going to be a woman's upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's going to be things that she'll be able to have a conversation, like, totally, and understand the situation more than what I probably would have been able to say with it. I mean, like, obviously, my one lives with her mum anyway, but at the same token, I think it's only a question that everybody has a debate on when it comes the other way around, because majority of the children always live with their mums anyway. Well, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll get men, like, I saw something the other day when they were talking about women can't raise their boys to become men. That's because right. at a certain age, you need to be learning certain man things that only a man can teach. And bro, the comments exploded. The comments exploded and said, these men are talking a lot of shit, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of great men out here that come from single parents' houses. I mean, if you're going to judge it on that, then what are we going to say Jay-Z's excuse was? Jay-Z's mum, he never had his dad there. Puff Daddy, that's another one. These are men that have achieved, like, great, do you know what I'm saying, heights that nobody could imagine that they turn their business to. So everybody would just... Yeah, but
I still think if the opportunity is there, with Puff Daddy, I think he's done.
If the opportunity is there, every aid is the best thing you can do. It's the best thing you can do. If you're going to be a vindictive parent and just be like, no, because you don't like them, then you're only stifling, the development of your kid.
I think also as well, I thought I was going to say that. I think also Puff Daddy, I think his dad was killed when he was young, so he wasn't even there, kind of aspect. So my thing is... Yeah,
and Jay-Z's dad passed and everything like that. But so what I'm saying is, they still...
active already, then I think that would be the ideal transition. But anyway, I don't know. It's all mad in the...
Nah, bro, listen, I believe, and this is why I say it's so important for a child to have both parents. They say statistically, children do better when they're in a house with both parents. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they've got active parents. Yeah. Like when one parent is not there, everybody finds their way in their own way. But, they're just staying on stats that, when a child has both parents, it's better because it's more nurturing in a sense. You can get parents that are just constantly going back and forth. But if they can parent in a certain place and that child knows, my mum loves me, my dad loves me, you can flourish. You can definitely flourish. They're happier.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, they're definitely happier.
Well, on that note, Snapbacks and FlatCaps, as you can see. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's see if I get this right. There's you. There you go.
I hate my...
I'm still waiting for a new one.
I know. I got to change. We got to change it. Look at my teeth, people. Look at my teeth. Oh,
I'm still waiting, bro. I'm still waiting for your new picture.
Don't worry, I got us. We got our new glossy photos.
Yeah. So
of 26 curves. Everybody check it out.
All digital platforms as always. Next week we'll be having a special guest. and we'll be talking a little bit about other things anyway. But as always, big shout out to all the listeners. Stay safe, wear your mask, and just keep stacking your money regardless of your gender. I think that's stack your money.
Everyone will.
Money.
Everyone deserves love.
That's what it comes down to be honest. Money just gives you options in it. So more options, richer life, and not just financially, but also emotionally, spiritually, and all of that kind of stuff. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you're following us on, of course, all the digital platforms, which includes SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and we're on iHeartRadio as well. So shout out all those American listeners as well. So until next time, I guess, peace.
Yes, peace, people.
Out, man.